I'd like to welcome you to Simply Cool. We're going to cover the installation video tonight. It's going to be real quick, real easy, real simple. First thing we've got is make sure we've got all our components here. Whenever you receive a kit, it will have everything in it that you're supposed to get. And for some odd reason it doesn't, just give us a call and we'll make sure your needs are met. Okay, the first thing we've got, the hardest part, is where to mount this, the actual cooler itself. Wherever you mount it, it can be an existing mounting hole or you can be a installation location that you choose. So it goes in, okay, that's an 86 millimeter hole that I use. We can use up to a 96 millimeter. It doesn't leave you much of a lip to attach to, but anyway, once that's figured out where you're going to put it, I use an adhesive called shoe goo. There's all kinds of adhesives out there that are of silicone nature. I put a bead under this lip right here, okay, all the way around, and then we install it in the hole, let it dry. Okay, while it's sitting there drying, and shoe goo, the reason I use it, it dries in about 3 minutes to where it's really sturdy, and then after about 30 minutes, it's on there good. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to mount the radiator and fan. We can mount this anywhere up to 9 feet straight up from the pump, or about 30 or 40 feet horizontally. So we're going to mount the radiator and the pump. And the pump, you can see it's attached with a little clear piece of 8 millimeter or 5/16 tubing. I mount it closer in an actual installation. It's out here so that we have room to look at it in the video. Okay, so it's not a big pump. Anyway, this red and black wire runs the fan. It will be pre-terminated in this. It's just not terminated in this video. Or if you want to switch it separately, you can, but we highly recommend that you use a 5521 plug and that it plugs in with the pump. That way the pump and the fan are both turning at the same time. Okay, we've got that mounted. How do you mount it? We got some screw holes here. We got some strap holes here. You can use wire, stainless steel wire. You can use the big industrial strength zip ties. Use your imagination. Whatever you want to do, just don't poke a hole in this center portion here. Okay, but those holes go all the way through and out the other side. And there's a cover that goes on here that will ship with it. Okay, it looks just like this one. So we've got the radiator and fan assembly mounted. The pump is mounted with it also. It's pre-terminated into the female 5521 plug. Okay. Now, from there, what I do is I come over and I do the lights first. Why do I do the lights first? Because if you do the pump first, you'll burn it up. So here's the wires for the lights. We'll plug them in. And here's the other end of the non-plugged in attachment here. Don't plug that in yet to the power pack. Okay, there's one right there. Here's the other one. This will go to the pump and the fan. Remember, we still haven't plugged that into the power system yet. We come over here, and this plugs in the chip that runs the cooling chip. Then up here, this is terminated in a 4 by 10 millimeter plug, and it only goes one way. Well, it goes either way. Only the lights will come on one way. And here's a little trick to it. Is once you get it in, and I don't have my glasses on, so I'm having trouble seeing that, but there it is. Where are my glasses? Here they are. And plug that in. There's an arrow right there on this one and an arrow on that one. Make sure they line up. This blue stripe, I put that on there to make it where you can see it a little bit easier. Okay, at this point, everything is ready to go except the fluid part of it. Okay, we've got the electronics hooked up. Here's a spare one. You can run this over to your second cooler that's off over here, and the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one, up to about 20 of them. We've got 144 watts on this controller. Next, we're going to take our cell phone. We're going to scan this code. This little code right here, that is going to synchronize your phone to this controller. And every wire, every light that comes out of it that's hooked into this system, well, now they will all run from this remote control, and they'll run from your cell phone. Next, we come over, and here's the cool part. This hose that runs out goes into the pump. After it goes into the pump, I'm shortening this up almost uncomfortably short. It'll hook in, and there'll be a clamp that goes on here. It hooks in to one of the cooling chips. Now, if you're only running one, just hook the other end of the radiator hose right into that, and now you're ready to go after you fill it with fluid. Now, what we're going to do is, let's see, I'm going to run this hose right in. It goes all the way around. This is just extra hose here so you can see what I got going on. Let me move this one. And there's one kit that's hooked up. Granted, it doesn't look good. It's all jammed up here. But for the sake of seeing what we got going on, I had to do it like that. Next, what we can do, we come over. This thing's going to come on. Okay, I need to unplug the pump because we don't have fluid in it. Okay, there's plugged in, and there's your lights. Can you see that? Okay, and let me get red. Oh, where's my remote? There it is. The red. And green. And blue. And there's the white. And you can see it starts cycling through all the red, greens, and blues. Once you have red, and you have green, and you have blue, any combination of those will make 16 million colors. Okay? So, long story short, that's it. The lights work. We heard the pump try to click on. Okay? It's a little chilly out here in the shop. But we don't have fluid in it, so don't let that pump run. I think about 10 seconds, it'll burn it. Anyway, that's it. We come over to here. This is plugged in. Over here is plugged in. There's what it looks like in real life, a whole series of them running. And now, your main power supply. What we do, I run it into a power pack right here. 12 volt, 7 amps. And this one only pulls about 3.7 amps, maybe 4. If you're on an aircraft, this wire right here will not run to a power pack like this. This wire will terminate in a red and a black wire. We all know what red and black is. Black is ground, and red is hot. Hook it up to a switch. You'll fuse it at about 12 amp fuse or a 15 amp fuse. Do the math on that. What is it? 3 times the rating or 1.5 times the rating or the load to get your amp, your fuse requirements. Okay, that's pretty much it. Like I said, everything, I'm going to unplug this. Everything only plugs in one way. Just make sure it's got fluid in this. And what I'll include on some of the deals, it's an option. We have a acrylic tank that's about the size of this power pack. It's a little bit smaller than that, but it has a fill tube in the top. It's got where the fluid comes in it, goes out it, and then at the very top, it's got a little cap on there. You take it off, you fill it up with the fluid, put the cap back on, makes it real handy for filling it. Takes a 5-minute job that turns into a 30-second job. Okay? Other than that, I hope that answers any questions you may have, and thanks for tuning in to Simply Cool. That's pretty cool.